Hey guys, this is Laura from Purl Soho, and I'm going to show you how to work diagonal slip stitch. We use this stitch in our diagonal slip stitch blanket. This stitch pattern has a 4-row repeat. I'm going to demonstrate 2 of those rows, and in those rows you'll learn all the techniques you need to know to complete the blanket or the stitch pattern. I just want to make one note that we have 3 selvage stitches on each side here. But yeah, let's get started. First, I'm going to show you how to work row 1. Row 1 is worked across the right side of the fabric. So yeah, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is work my first 3 stitches, which are selvage stitches, and I'm going to slip 3 one at a time with my yarn and back. And I'm going to slip these stitches purlwise. The next thing I'm going to do is knit 1. Now I'm going to knit 2 together, and I'm going to continue knitting 2 together until I reach the last 4 stitches. So knit 2 together, and just continue knitting 2 together until there are 4 stitches remaining. At which point I'm going to slip 1 with yarn and back and knit 3. All right, now we're ready to work row 2. Row 2 is worked across the wrong side of the fabric, and to get started, I am going to slip my 3 selvage stitches. This time I'm going to slip these stitches with my yarn in front, but still purlwise. So slipping 1 purlwise with yarn in front, a second one purlwise with yarn in front, and a third one purlwise with yarn in front. Now the next thing I'm going to do is purl 1. Okay, so now I'm ready to begin the repeat, which I'm going to work into the last 4 stitches of the row. And in preparation, I'm going to go ahead and take my yarn to the back. Now, the next thing I want you to do is take a look at this next stitch. Because of all of the knitting 2 together you did on the previous row, you're going to have 2 strands of yarn hanging off of this stitch, or 2 purl bumps here. So what I want you to do is identify the one that's kind of more obvious. It's a bit more towards you. There's one kind of hiding back there, but I want you to focus on that more obvious one. And I'm going to take the tip of my right needle and I'm going to insert my needle into it. So here you can see the 1 and the 2. So I'm going to insert my needle into this knitwise, and I'm going to knit this stitch. Now I'm going to bring my yarn to the front, and I'm going to slip 1 purlwise. So that's the repeat. So let's do that again. I'm going to take my yarn to the back, I'm going to use the tip of my right needle, slip it underneath that more obvious of the 2 purl bumps here, knitwise, in order to knit it, and then bring my yarn to the front in order to slip 1 purlwise with yarn in front. So you're going to continue doing this until the last 4 stitches of the row. When you get to those last 4 stitches, you're simply going to slip 1 purlwise with the yarn in front, and then you're going to purl 3. Okay, so now we are really zoomed in here, guys. I just want to make sure that you can see the purl bumps that I'm talking about. So if you take a look at this stitch on your left needle, you can see that there's 1 purl bump that's really obvious and kind of closer to you, kind of on top or in front. And then there's this other purl bump that's kind of a little snugger to the stitch, a little harder to see. So I want to make sure when you come to these stitches that you're working into this more obvious stitch that's closest to you here, right here, and that's the one you're knitting into. So here we can take a look at that one more time. Here we are again. Take a look at this stitch on the left needle. Kind of, you can almost use your thumb here to separate the 2 stitches. Make sure you see them both. Here's one, and then here's the second one here. So I want to work into that first one I touched. Once you kind of get the hang of identifying that stitch, you get really in a rhythm, and it's a lot less tedious, I promise.